joining us on this Saturday, June 20th. I'm Xanayra Marin-Lopez, and this is the Appalachian Weekly News. Tonight, we continue our coverage of the Black Lives Matter movement. The Davis-Hunter administration released a statement detailing plans for the upcoming year and siding with the Black Lives Matter movement. Today, I'm joined by one of the co-signers of the statement. Kyndavee Bichara is the president of the Black Student Association. Question. Could you tell me about the writing process, but could you tell me more about the coming to the agreement on this statement? How did you know that siding with Black Lives Matter is the stance that SGA and that BSA needs to take?
SGA, one of the representatives from SGA, Corbin, came to me and asked me if BSA would like to co-sign on the statement that they were releasing and if we had any add-ons. We read over the statement. We made sure everything, aligned with how we felt, and BSA's statement that you can find, a statement I made on our Instagram page. And then they pretty much orchestrated everything and put it together, and then the statement was released. And the Black Student Association stands with Black Lives Matter. And that's the right stance for ourselves because we are Black students and our lives matter, and it would only be right for us to stand with a movement that speaks at a national level the importance of Black people and our lives. And it's very important for SGA to also take that stance because we're students too, and it's the Student Government Association. So that's a direct reflection of the people that SGA is serving and the people that BSA is serving.
Can you speak to me about the action items that are at the end of the statement? There's a lot out there. There's a lot of future plans that SGA wants to do. Just kind of your response to all of these, how you feel about them, and how you think they'll go next year as far as being implemented.
I agree with everything that SGA is trying to do, the action plans, hence why, BSA signed along with it. I think that, a lot of those things do need to happen because as Black students, going into classrooms of buildings that were named after Confederate soldiers is kind of like a slap in the face, and just a daily reminder and message from the university of, us not belonging. So it's definitely important that the name of those buildings are changed, and mental health counselors of color are brought to campus because faculty and staff and students need those type of resources to be successful. And after being recruited to the university, retention is very important. And in order to, uphold that, you need to make sure, students are comfortable and we have all the resources that we need, just like any other student. But BSA definitely stands behind all of the actions that SGA wants to take. And I think even furthermore, the university should be drawing up plans of actions for themselves, even furthermore than the actions that SGA wants to take. Different actions when it applies to how such hate speech is handled, and just different things on campus that deserve to be reviewed, curriculum even, to make sure that we're keeping it an inclusive environment.
My next question, could you speak to the resources that marginalized communities have on campus?
Intercultural Student Affairs Office, which was formerly known as MSD, Multicultural Student Development Office, offers a lot of different resources, some of which are clubs and organizations such as the Black Student Association that are under the umbrella of ISA. And they offer, different money options for us, to have events, different identity affirming events, bringing different people to campus to speak on issues that pertain to race or, there are a lot of resources that ISA offers, and it makes App feel more like a home. They also try to help students get into places and opportunities to be successful on campus and really act as a connecting point for students and faculty. And they also have a program called a SIN for marginalized, underrepresented students on campus to do when they're first coming to campus, to meet mentors, which would be like upperclassmen on campus when they're coming into campus, so that they can, join into different communities and things so they feel more at home when they're on campus. And different like professors and just different resources for them to be successful. And the guides who are upperclassmen on campus do different presentations like about money, being successful, being confident, and things of that nature.
So the statement says, quote, "Our designation as a predominantly white institution makes it even more imperative for us to hold each other and our university accountable." Could you explain this, what this means for us?
Well, to be a PWI which means a predominantly white institution. Historically, Black students were not allowed to come to predominantly white institutions, were blocked out of those type of opportunities that come with going to predominantly white institutions. And now that there's been a recent cultural shift, because that wasn't too long ago, it is imperative to make sure that when marginalized students come to these schools that they are treated as they belong, because there are certain institutional oppressions and systematic oppression that happen to do the exact opposite. So it's very important to fight that system that's already been created. A lot of times people say that the system is broken and things like that, but it works exactly the way it was created to work. And our issue is that we haven't created new infrastructure. So it's really important as a predominantly white institution for Appalachian to create a new infrastructure to bring in and adapt to an inclusive environment and make sure that everyone's being treated the same. And that does mean, equality is everybody being treated the same. Equity is acknowledging that some people are put way behind the start point, and that, things need to be put in place to make sure that they start at the same point as other students that are going to that university. So I think that's kind of like the nature of that statement, is just like, it's even more of a responsibility for being a predominantly white institution to, level the playing fields that, predominantly white institutions have systematically, made uneven.
What needs to change in App State? Though this is something that's systematic and is beyond App State, what needs to change on our campus?
Well, for one, is speaking up and out against blatant racism, implicit bias, and making sure that professors, along with students, along with faculty and staff, are all held accountable, so that people understand that there are repercussions for actions of any type of prejudice, any type of racism, anything. So a zero tolerance a precedent needs to be set. And everyone needs to have repercussions for their actions. And then in addition to that, like I was saying earlier, with equity, you need to give the resources to students in order to be successful, when you understand that they aren't starting at the same point as the majority of students due to systematic racism. So those things like, scholarships, and making sure that the counseling center reflects the entire student body. So having counselors who are of the LGBTQ plus community, having counselors who are Black, having counselors who are Latinx, and then going even further and having faculty members who, reflect the student body, and having just different resources that reflect a more diverse student body, because we are here. So, those adjustments need to be made on campus. If people want to get involved in, being allies and standing up and doing what's right, or just different resources on becoming educated, Black and Boone is an organization that exists. It's not a campus affiliated organization, but it exists here in Boone. to educate people, for allies who want to donate or who want to figure out how they can help. You can visit Black and Boone on Facebook. And then also, you know, if you want to support events and things like that for the Black Student Association, you're welcome to do so. And don't stop fighting. Don't stop speaking up. When you see something, say something. When you know something is wrong, you know, speak up on it, and still have hope that things are going to be better.
To view the statement released by the Student Government Association, go to our Facebook page or find us on Instagram at App Weekly News. That's our show this week. I'm Xanayra Marin-Lopez. For all of us at the Appalachian Weekly News, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.